There are some amazing EVs coming out and quite a bit of news, so let's get right to it. I'm Brian. Welcome to My Tesla Weekend. Well, I don't know if you heard, but Rimac Nevera, the Croatian hypercar, has been unveiled. And not only is it so pretty, it is a performance beast. 888 brake horsepower, about 2,000 in American style. 0 to 60 in 1.85 seconds. Now, if it is released with these stats, it is going to be amazeballs. It 0 to 186 in 9.3 seconds. That is insane. Quarter mile in 8.6, which would definitely beat the Plaid and almost certainly beat the Plaid Plus. It's amazing. And it's affordable at a mere $2.5 million. So I don't know, which would you rather have? This or a Roadster and a mansion or two? Still, very exciting. The Bumwa blog is reporting world premiere 2022 BMW i4, BMW's first electric sports sedan, and I would argue their first serious car. Look at that. That, my friend, that's a BMW. It looks fine. It looks great. It looks like a BMW. It's a little more aggressive with the bull nose there, but there you go. It looks fantastic. It's familiar. It's going to get sales, though I'm not entirely sure why, because it is, in my opinion, a bit overpriced. Start at $55,000, and if you know anything about BMWs, that means it goes up aggressively from there. 300-mile range, 536 horsepower. Boy, I am just not convinced that this is going to be a Tesla killer, but then again, what is? BMW's iX, or as I like to call it, Roman 9 electric SUV with 300 miles of range will start at $83,200. That's less attractive. That is less attractive. It still has some BMW DNA in it, and by that I guess I just mean the grille, or Mach grille. Yeah, I don't know, man. 516 horsepower, 0 to 60 in 4.6 seconds. That's good, but it's not what I expect from an $80,000 EV. This, I don't know, looks fine, I guess. It looks kind of like a living room, but I don't know. This should be, people will absolutely buy it, in no small part because it is a BMW, and BMW owners like BMWs, so Kia's EV6 first edition pricing has been revealed for the US market. According to Kia's website, it will have an MSRP of $58,500, which isn't bad. The look of it, I like it. It's futuristic without being ridiculous. 58,000, dual motor, all-wheel drive, 265 miles of range. 300 horsepower. I don't know. Augmented reality heads-up display. That should, I don't know, appeal to 3 people. But yeah, it's barely cheaper than the Tesla Model Y, which does not qualify for the EV incentive, where this does. This will certainly sell some. I'm still waiting to see if Hyundai is serious about selling in volume. Rolls-Royce is working on an EV called Silent Shadow. As the ultra-luxury brand prepares to offer a full electric car this decade, yes, BMW, who apparently owns Rolls-Royce, filed a patent for it. Great. No pictures. Well, let's jump over to Google and see what they say. Oh my goodness, that will never make it into production. That's yeah, you could live to be 10,000 years old and not see that on the road. That looks like what a villain would drive in a Dick Tracy remake of Blade Runner. The Bloomberglers are reporting Ford production of electric Mustang exceeds that of their gas-powered models. Yeah, so they're making, perhaps even selling, more of the Mach-E than they are of the gas-guzzling Mustang. I don't know. Do people really... They built 27,000 compared to 26,000. I don't know. I think summer is probably a better time for people to buy Mustangs, but yeah, we'll see. Jim Farley, the CEO, says he expects 40% to be electric by 2030. That would be great if true. We'll see, though, because the Mach-E has a production cap, as I understand, of about 50,000. So I don't know how serious they are. Further on competition-ish, Apple loses several top managers from self-driving car division. At least 3 members of the company's management have left this year. Well, it turns out Apple has extremely high standards, and developing a self-driving platform is extremely difficult, and they're starting just later than everyone else. Still on Apple, kind of, FoxConn enters electric vehicle market with deal in Thailand. Now this is neat. They're not going to be building a car so much, but if you don't know who FoxConn is, beyond Apple, they make kind of all sorts of things. They make electronics, they make blenders, they make a ton of stuff, and they're very good at it. And the idea here is that they'll be pouring $1 billion in, perhaps as much as $2 billion, to create parts, components, and a platform that other manufacturers can use. So if you're a smaller electric builder in Southeast Asia, you will have something upon which to build. I think that's going to be great. Incedives is reporting GMC Hummer EV's weight and quickness raise safety concerns. We knew it was going to be heavy. Did you know how heavy it was going to be? Well, the $80,000 rig to start and up from there is going to weigh 4.5 tons. Yes, 4,000 kilograms. That is problematic in terms of safety. Not so much for you, but for all those school children underneath your wheels in front of you. It's outrageous to think that a vehicle this heavy, moving this fast, can be remotely safe. And by the way, at 9,000 pounds, if it was 10,000 pounds, you would need a commercial driver's license to operate it. GM's Ultium battery plant is almost complete, and great. It looks like they will be able to start next year producing batteries for GM, which is great because that Hummer is going to take, you know, a few. Ford says it could face $1.3 billion in new penalties in transit imports. Boiling this down for you, there's a transit van, a cargo van, a Sprinter-style van that Ford imports. Now they import a passenger version and a cargo version. The passenger version has a 2.5% import tax, but the cargo variant has a 25% import tax, and they were caught with their hands in the cookie jar. They were importing the transit versions and selling them, marketing them as cargo versions. Yeah, you got to pay the tax. Now that $1.3 billion, that's not going to happen. It's, it's the actual taxes they didn't pay was $181 million. They'll definitely have to pay that. And then some damages on top. I would guess it would be not even the lower of the two figures. I think it would be well shy of $650 million. But, time shall tell. California's renewable natural gas vehicles turned carbon negative in 2020. Yes, last year, the CARB, California Air Resources Board, analyzed the data and found that they were not emitting worse than they were supposed to. So it's literally carbon negative. Now, I do not see compressed natural gas as much of a stopgap in terms of climate mitigation, but anything that's reducing emissions is a win. FedEx has put up these fun little commercials. More electric vehicles on the way. So if you're at a charging station, you might see this ad. And what is it? Well, meet BrightDrop, the EV-based delivery business from GM. Yeah, FedEx gets the first 500 vans, and I assume these will be using the Ultium batteries, which will be ready next year. Great. This is a ideal use case for electrification. You know what your route is going to be on a daily basis. You know which vehicles can be electrified without compromising on range. And for longer hauls, you can still use the internal combustion until such time as that makes sense. 7-Eleven charges forward with installation of 500 electric vehicle ports by the end of 2022, providing convenient charging options that drive a more sustainable future. These will not be the sort of thing you could use with a Tesla, but that's okay. Now, what I don't understand is how this works with their business model, because they kind of rely on fast in, fast out customers. And if someone's spending 30, 40, 60 minutes at a 7-Eleven, well, fine, whatever. They're taking us in the right direction, and I'm all about it. Hyundai's hydrogen truck is coming to America. Yes, Hyundai has a hydrogen fuel cell truck, and it is expected to arrive in America before the Tesla Semi. Now, can they actually build these? Do they actually exist? Well, yes, they've already delivered 45 of them in Switzerland, which have achieved a cumulative driving range of over almost 500,000 miles. By the time we read this, it's probably 500,000 miles. It's, Sandy Monroe from Monroe Live says long-haul trucking is a reasonable use case for hydrogen. So, all right, I guess let's do it. Green Car Congress is reporting Albertsons makes first U.S. commercial 100% electric refrigerated grocery delivery with a Class 8 truck. Volvo and AEM have outfitted some electric trucks with, refrigeration units so they can keep produce or whatever, dairy, I don't know, fresh. And, fantastic. Albertsons operates 1,400 Class 8 trucks nationwide, and, let's electrify them, man. Let's do it. And the last bit of funsies, the rise of electric cars. Yes, the big brains at Bloomberg are reporting that by 2040, as much as 35% of all new vehicle sales could be electric. What are you talking about? China and the US are likely to be over 50% at that point, and Europe is definitely going to be over 50%. You can't even operate a gasoline car in Spain in 2040. These analysts, man, I swear they have no idea what are they doing. So if you like this, pretty please subscribe, but tell me, what did I miss or misunderstand? Leave me all your genius in the comments, and stay tuned, stay juicy, and I just can't wait to hear from you clever robots in the future.